Welcome to The Car Guy with your host, Klaus Kindor. Currently, Klaus owns Classic Car Holdings, LLC here in Spokane, a boutique dealer specializing in vintage, collectible, and contemporary automobiles. The Car Guy is sponsored in part by European Auto House and Can-Am Body Shop. Here's Klaus.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to The Car Guy. My name is Klaus Kinder. I'm your host this morning. I'd like to introduce Jay Breesnee from Can-Am Body Shop. Good morning. How are you, Jay?
Morning, Klaus. I'm good.
Nervous?
Yeah.
Good. Good. There's only 1 million people watching.
Well, we'll be fine. We'll be all right.
Cool. Can-Am Body Shop. How long have you guys been in business here in Spokane?
This year is 50 years.
50 years.
Yeah.
And you're originally from
Calgary.
Calgary,
Alberta.
Canada. Yeah. Was the intent to start the business here in Spokane, or were you guys thinking about doing something else somewhere else?
Well, originally my dad was going to move down to Sacramento,
Yeah.
and they got into a hotel down there on the road,
Yeah.
and went inside to register and came back out, and the 55 Chevy that they were driving was being stripped.
Sounds like California.
So they had
Everybody needs parts, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So and it was a beautiful car. So they turned around, and headed back up here, and landed in Spokane.
Landed in Spokane. And 50 years later, you're doing your thing here in Spokane.
Yep.
Terrific.
Yep.
You've been doing this for a while. What's changed over the last 50 years when it comes to the paint and body industry? How has it gotten different?
The cars have totally gotten different. We used to repair most everything.
Yeah.
Now we just throw it away.
Yeah.
Buy new parts.
Buy new parts.
Pretty much the name of the game.
So the newer cars are a little bit more difficult to work on?
Not necessarily more difficult. A lot more electronics.
Yeah.
A lot more learning to them.
Yeah.
The old cars were pretty simple.
Yeah. So today's car is a little bit more complicated to repair. Okay, cool.
Always new tools coming out,
Yeah. You do a lot of insurance-related repairs.
Yeah.
And are there any hurdles to working with insurance companies?
The hurdles with working with them, especially when you're a small shop, is they're doing a lot of direct repair programs.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Direct repair.
Direct repair programs. Tell us about that.
Now, this probably started back in the early, mid-'90s.
Okay.
And what they do is just go into shops, make a deal, discounted labor rates, waive their storage fees on a total loss, and concessions they'd give them. In return, they'll send them 20 cars a week, 30 cars a week, whatever.
So the insurance companies are negotiating with shops
Yes.
to limit or to reduce their expenses.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
basically what's happening.
Exactly.
How does that affect the consumer? How does that affect you and I taking a car to a body shop?
A lot of what it does is it's created a lot of aftermarket parts usage. You take your car to the direct
Let's get that a little
shop.
closer to you. There you go.
Take your car to the direct repair shop, and most of the insurance companies require them to use aftermarket parts. And say
Really?
your wife has an accident in her brand new car,
Right?
5,000 miles on it, and they'll want the shop to use aftermarket parts on it,
Really?
which to me is pretty unfair.
Well, yeah.
It's your new car; it should have original equipment parts on it.
I agree entirely. I mean, I saw once where I'm going to leave names out of it, but there's this little lizard guy that walks around talking about their product,
Right.
where a fender was removed from a car that had been damaged, and a replacement fender was acquired from apparently a junkyard or whatever the case may be, that was actually in worse condition than the fender that was coming off the automobile.
All right.
How does this happen?
They probably bought that fender for $60, and the repair time on the fender that was on the car maybe was 5 hours. About $50 an hour, that's way more money.
Oh my
So
gosh.
put the cheaper part on and pay to clean it up, and they're still in it less.
Is the consumer necessarily is are Mr. and Mrs. Smith necessarily aware that either used parts or non-factory components are being used to repair their automobiles?
A lot of times they don't.
They
And
don't
a lot
know.
of times they don't have any choice.
Really?
Yeah, unless they want to pay the shop the difference in the cost for the OE part.
Wait,
Yeah, and realistically, there's nothing wrong with the used part
right,
if it's in good shape.
right.
I'd prefer that over an aftermarket part that fits like socks on a rooster.
Right,
9 times out of 10, they don't fit.
right. So if I understand correctly, the insurance companies are directing, if you will, the consumer to specific body shops to do the
Yeah.
work,
Yeah,
where they're then where the insurance company's getting a discounted rate, but unfortunately the consumer is not necessarily getting as good a quality in return as they might expect. Is that,
in a lot of cases, that's true.
wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything the consumer can do about that?
Check your insurance policy. Read your policy.
Yeah.
See what it shows for parts. You don't have to go to their direct repair facility.
Oh, you don't?
You can choose your own shop. It's your car. But a lot of people just say, it's easier, I'll just go there.
Really?
And a lot of the shops like that, the repairs are okay, but not all the time.
I saw, as an example, you had something on your, I think it was on the Facebook page that you have on a Chrysler, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a minivan that the entire side of the car had to be replaced. And the work that was done was subpar.
Oh, that was that video. It was a reinspect,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. How
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What happens in where you take your car to a repair facility and they supposedly do a good quality repair, you get it back and you find out,
That it's not so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
What recourse does somebody have on that?
There's actually companies that are starting up. It's probably been around for a while, but they're doing reinspects. They'll go down inside with cameras and check the repairs from inside.
Okay.
And in a lot of cases like that car, they'll do a reinspect on it and end up just totaling it
Really?
because it was not repaired correctly.
Because the repair work was subpar.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people need to understand, or hopefully we can get our audience to understand that some of this repair work, particularly when it's structural, it can lessen the structural integrity of the car. In other words, if it were to have another accident, as an example,
It won't do its job.
the car may not save, or it may not crumple, or it may not dissipate energy as designed
Exactly.
the first time.
Exactly.
Okay, wow,
Yeah.
that's so. This
Yeah.
direct repair program. It sounds to me as though the insurers or the insurance companies are telling you need to take your car here. You need to let these guys do the repair work, rather than you selecting where it is you'd like to have the work done.
Right.
And see, as a consumer, I have an issue with that. In that, I know you guys do great work. You've done work for me. I wouldn't want to take the car somewhere else. Do I have any recourse?
See, and part of the problem with that, Klaus, is that insurance company will tell you if you don't want to use our shop and you take it to Joe Blow down the street, we're not going to warranty it, number one.
Really?
If the estimate goes over the insurance company's estimate, you're going to pay the difference. And none of that stuff is true. None of that stuff's even legal.
Really?
We all work off the same kind of database. The labor times are the same. Yeah, and they threaten you with that.
Just so they can get a better deal on the repair.
Exactly.
And, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's. I have an issue with that.
Yeah, it's not fair.
No, it's not fair. It's not fair.
No.
I think what also happens is that somebody like me or you who knows something about automobiles, if we see the repair work has been done substandard, We also understand that somebody else may notice that when I trade the car in, and a couple shows ago we talked about trade-in value.
Right.
And if repair work is done poorly, and you really are a car guy and you understand that, a good sales manager or a good used car manager is going to see that the car's been repaired. And if it has been repaired poorly, then of course the consumer is the one that suffers because the car no longer has the value you thought it may have.
Exactly.
And this could be simply because the insurance company's trying to save a buck or two.
Definitely.
Wow.
And if they can save a buck on every repair nationwide, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
That's a whole lot of money.
So, and again, getting back to it, the consumer has a choice as to whether he or she wants to take their automobile. You don't have to take your car to the body shop that the insurance company says.
No, you don't.
You don't.
No.
Okay, so I want to make that clear to our viewers that if your insurance company says you have to take it to ABC Body Shop or whoever the case may be, you do have the option to take it to somebody that you know and trust.
Yes, you do.
Oh, that's good to know. That's really
you do.
good to know. And I think that's important for our consumers to know.
I think it is too.
Yeah, I think they need to understand that they don't have to take the car to where they are directed to by their insurance company.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, yeah.
That's scary.
It is scary. It is.
Yeah, that's frightening. It's frightening. I want quality work done on my automobile, and I'm willing to pay quality money for quality work.
It's too bad your insurance company is not willing to pay that.
Wow. I'm kind of glad we brought this up out in the open. I think a lot of our viewers need to know this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. I think we're going to take a little bit of a break here. I want to, number one, thank Jay for being here this morning from Can-Am. He's one of our sponsors, of course. Our other sponsor is European Auto House, and I've said it every time I've been on this program. If you got a German car, take it to Greg and the guys at European Auto House. They're awesome. With that, I think we'll take just a couple-second break, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Can-Am Body Shop has been a family-owned business for 50 years, and we would like to invite you to try our local automotive body repair services. We offer a variety of services, including full-service collision repair, frame and unibody repair, air condition services, and fiberglass repair. We have a certified spray booth. We're on a gold level with Spokane Clean Air, and we are willing to work with all insurances. And you'll always get a written lifetime warranty with any of our services. Give us a call at 509-534-3044 or visit our shop at 7706 East Boone Lane. That's 7706 East Boone Lane.
Terrific. And welcome back. You're watching The Car Guy with Klaus Kindor and Jay Breesnee. The Car Guy. The
Porsche guy.
How tough is it nowadays to find people who are qualified to do good body and paint work?
That's a good question. The gray hairs are retiring at a fast,
I'm still glad it's
at a
hair.
fast pace. I wish I did too. And millennials aren't really interested in getting into it.
Really?
So there is a real shortage nationwide of techs.
Of good quality techs, not only mechanics or technicians, but also body guys.
And painters.
And painters?
Yeah.
They're hard to come by?
They're hard to come by.
Really?
Yeah.
Good money in that? I mean, if you're I've seen some guys do some paint work and some body work. I stand back and I just go, wow. I mean, seriously, they're just
good or bad?
Oh no, they're artists.
Yeah,
they're bloody artists. I mean, a good painter has got to be really, really difficult to come by.
There
are there schools available where people can go and learn this trade?
Yeah, there's a lot of them available. We have one right down here in town at SEC.
Oh, really?
That's really good.
And is it a good program? And
Yeah.
have you hired people out of that program?
I haven't personally, but there's quite a few of them around, to hire.
So if somebody's looking for a career,
and you don't mind getting dirty, and at the end of the day you want to be proud of what you accomplished, I think it's something to look at.
Terrific.
You can make decent money.
Can you?
Yeah.
I know there's some painters that charge a boatload of dough for painting an automobile. It's time consuming, and the guys that are really good at it should get paid well for it.
Yeah, and they do.
What surprises me sometimes, however, I think a lot of our viewers probably don't know what it costs to paint a car nowadays.
Oh, boy.
My goodness. I bought a Porsche 911 about a year ago. I bought it in pieces. Smart.
Right.
and decided I needed a 3D puzzle for ages 18 to 80 that I'm still putting together. But I had to paint the car. And I didn't do the paint work. I hired somebody else to do the paint work. I needed it done on the cheap. I was going to basically build a race car out of this thing. But just the paint alone cost me over $1,000 for a gallon of paint.
Yeah.
What does it cost today? If you're going to paint, I don't know, let's a 1971 VW Beetle, but you were going to do it right. What do you think it would cost to paint a car today properly?
For just the materials or for the whole job?
The whole job. Labor, materials, the whole 9 yards.
You could probably start it, if it's not a rust bucket, you could start it at 10 grand.
10 grand to paint a car.
Strip it and bring it back up, and yeah.
Is Earl Scheib still in business?
Yeah.
They are.
They are.
I'll paint any car for $29.95.
Yeah.
All of it.
Exactly. That was great to sell it.
Oh, I'll bet.
You didn't want to keep it.
I'll bet.
Wash and shoot,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's. I couldn't believe when I bought just the color how much it was going to cost me to paint this car. It's outrageous. It's just outrageous.
Back in the early 70s, a lot of lacquer was used, and I'd get on my bicycle and ride down to Skaggs on the corner.
Right.
And I'd buy a pint of lacquer for $2.50.
No kidding.
And now a pint of base coat is $200.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It is. It's outrageous. I think a lot of that has to do with some of the regulations that are put on, these chemicals and whatnot. I think that has a lot to do with the price of, body filler and paint and clear coat and all those wonderful things that we need to paint an automobile nowadays.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the new products are much better.
Yeah. Huh.
Way better.
Very cool. It's an interesting business. It's an interesting business.
I'm
glad to hear that there are schools out there where people can learn a vocation, body work and paint work, and that there's a career there. Not always go to college. I never went to college.
I didn't either.
I'm a car guy.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, it says so right there.
And these kids should look at it as a career.
I think so too. I think it's become more and more difficult nowadays to work on automobiles technically. In fact, I was talking to Greg at European Auto about how difficult it is to learn these new cars today, how complicated they are. But there is still money to be made by good technicians.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, very cool.
But anymore you can plug the scanner in and it'll kind of tell you.
Yeah.
Where we used to have to diag it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Now the machine will tell you.
It does.
They really don't even get dirty anymore.
It is. It's extraordinary. You now plug in a computer.
Yeah.
You put it in a diagnostic mode. You find it tells you basically what's wrong with the car, and you replace the component.
Yeah.
And years ago, we actually fixed stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, I used to diag that stuff and it'd take you half a day.
Yeah. We used to have, when I was with Mercedes-Benz years ago, we had a German by the name of Hermann Stehling. And Herman was our technical advisor for Mercedes-Benz. And Herman was the kind of guy, he knew the cars so well that if we couldn't fix a car, we would call Herman. And Herman would basically say, do this over the phone, and the car would be fixed. And he was right almost all the time, and that was scary.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
The guy knew.
He worked on a lot of cars.
I want to thank you for being here this morning. I really, truly do. It's great having you on the show. It's great having you as a sponsor. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And folks, if you need body work done,
come see us.
Come see them. You betcha. They do great work.
And we warranty the work. The insurance company doesn't.
There you go. How long do you warranty your work?
Lifetime.
Unless
it's abuse, rocks and bird droppings that you didn't get washed off, and that we can't warranty that.
Sure, I understand.
But other than that, yeah, lifetime, as long as you own it.
Lifetime warranty. Terrific stuff. I would like to spend just a minute this morning reflecting on the life of this fabulous man by the name of Niki Lauda. We lost Niki Lauda yesterday, unfortunately. Due to medical complications, Niki was 70, one of the finest race car drivers in the world. And I would like to dedicate this show this morning with Jay to the wonderful life of Niki Lauda. If you've not had an opportunity to read this man's story, I would suggest you do so. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. The Car Guy is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. The Car Guy is sponsored in part by European Auto House and Can-Am Body Shop. Ask Klaus a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.